And it's time for another look at how they've potentially going to destroy the game. Again, for those that didn't watch the first one, I'm only going off the information they posted during the Project Resolve live stream. And the only reason I'm doing this is because at the moment, as of yet, I can refresh it, the actual patch notes, we get the, I forgot what it's called, walkthrough thing, timetable, bloody bloody blah. We get the changes to the global events. I kind of feel like they missed the mark with this. The reason a lot of people didn't play some of these, especially Polarity Switch, is because it's a ball ache to do, so just smacking up more damage. No, it's the mechanic that was the issue, not the actual damage. This is really nice and welcome. Absolutely ecstatic for this. But then when it comes to like weapon and gear balancing, yeah, we don't really have a lot of info. So we've already looked at what they've said about the weapons. Not too impressed. Let's have a look at the gear.
Weapons are not the only thing that underwent such a pass. There has also been a gear balancing pass as well. Mainly targets brand sets. But you want to talk about it?
Sorry, I look eager. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, the brand sets is so the idea with brand sets is just that it feels like it's kind of rare to see people using 3 pieces because you have to sacrifice a gear set if you do that, or you have to sacrifice other things, and usually the 3 piece is not necessarily that interesting. So what we wanted to do with brand sets is really like make sure that we reward the commitment to a brand set. So if you're going to use 2 pieces or 3 pieces of a brand set, like those bonuses should be worth it.
This sounds, so far, bloody good. Right, but if you've not watched this, don't worry, he fucking kicks his own bucket in a minute.
So what we did is we did a general pass on the brand sets to make sure that the 2 pieces and 3 pieces bonuses are actually better. So we are not changing the first piece. I think none of them has their first piece changed, but it's, again, big list of changes. Waiting for people to screen grab that. That's what I do. But yeah, if you look at, I don't know, what can I pick here from
let's go with Empress.
Empress, which has like a monopoly on like I'd say 95% of skill builds. The only real skill builds that don't use Empress are Eclipse status builds, as well as mortar builds. Everything else, from drone and turret, Oxy, a variety of others, they're like the main 2 though. Empress, 3-piece Empress, and they're changing it. But wait. Just wait.
You picked the one that didn't have a change to the 3-piece bonus. But Empress, for example, the 2-piece bonus is going to go from 10% skill damage to 20% skill damage.
They've just reaffirmed if skill builds don't really have a meta, but they do have a best in slot. But they're now actually essentially allowing 3-piece Empress to become a meta setup. We needed to get away from this, and they're just pushing more into it.
If we take whatever do we have in here?
Bellstone gonna get the 48% incoming repairs as a third.
As a third, yeah.
Yeah.
Bellstone is going to 40% incoming repairs. Useless. Utterly useless.
Guard, no change to do 1 piece, but the second piece goes from 10% health to 20% health.
The most useless stat in the game is getting a buff.
The third piece goes from 1% armor regen to 3% armor regen.
The armor regen can be nice in certain areas, but again, this doesn't address the overall problem with blue builds, and that is that they are mostly just meh in the overall performance of the game. So getting people to more heavily invest in that side of things is not the way to go. There needs to be a reason to use it, and 3% armor regen isn't. Because at this point, I can just say, I see your 3-piece Gila Guard with 3% armor regen, and I raise you Memento.
3 pieces on Habsburg Guard, gonna give you 20% status effect.
Habsburg Guard. Alright, let's go back to this. Because I'm actually not sure where Hasbro Guard is because it's fucking weird. Right, blue core. Headshot, MMR, and we get an increase in useless. So no, this is not going to be an investment at all. This is stupid.
Yeah. Fenris is going to get a 30% weapon stability on 3-piece instead of 20.
Again, like Fenris. ARs don't really need stability. They're pretty damn stable. And if you do go for the 3-piece Fenris, that 20% stability is actually more than enough. Like, more than enough. So putting this to 30 is kind of like a what the fuck? That still does not give me, which shouldn't give anyone, really, incentive to go, yeah, 3-piece Fenris is a fucking good idea.
What do we have as well? Petrov, 30% ammo capacity instead of 20% on 3-piece.
Again,
so again,
useless.
some of them get their 2-piece bonus increase, some of them don't. And then most of them get their 3-piece bonus increased as well.
Except
We're not
for
changing,
Empress and
except
Reaper,
for Empress,
Yeah.
We're not changing the bonus, we're just increasing them.
There is the problem. They're not changing the bonus, they're just increasing them. So let's actually have a look at what some of these bonuses are, okay? 511, like this just needs an entire rework. This was their time, they missed it. Badger Tough, shotgun damage, armor on kill. Honestly, I don't know what you could do here, because if you are going to invest in a full shotgun Badger Tough build, this is kind of good. The only thing I could possibly think is they're going to put armor to 10%. Bellstone. Honestly, this didn't need changing at all. There's nothing. Most people just use the 1-piece for the armor regen. Armor on kill, okay, fine. But incoming repairs is mostly useless because the idea is for you to be a tank build. So you shouldn't need healing, at least that much. Brazos. This should have got changed to skill damage or something, at least related to the actual Brazos set. Gilligard, just health damage should have got changed. I don't know what this should have been. I don't know, Hasbro, something. Golan, I'm not too sure what they could do here. Maybe 2% armor regen. That could make 2-piece Golan a little bit more worthwhile, depending on what they do with it. But pretty sure they're just going to go with armor. Habsburg, this needs to get gone. Status effects, just get rid. Lengmo, this entire set needs a rework. It's useless. Uzina, I kind of want to say these two should just be swapped. Realistically. Jarl, this is actually weirdly, they said this is one of the ones, I've not actually played that part yet, but they said this is one of the ones they haven't touched, which I find weird. Alps is mostly fine. China is pretty much on point. Electrique, this does need a rethink. I get what they're going for here during the time it came out, but just none of it makes sense. It's useless. Empress, this is already stupidly powerful. Don't touch it. Just don't. Hanayu is... I get why this is here, and it's because of the named backpack, but, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Murakami is pretty much on point as well. I just don't see a lot of people use it at all. Richter and Kaiser does need a rethink. I kind of would like this to be like a unique standalone stat for like, I don't know, 20% shield health or something. Or have this actually be a blue core. Like how Brazos gives a skill tier. Have this be a blue core. Let us invest into the shield. Wyvern, fine. I'm not too sure what they're going to do down here. I believe the two down here they said they weren't going to touch were Providence and Sokolov. Obviously, just because crit chance, crit damage. I'm not sure what they're going to do with everything else. Maybe increasing the Hasbro here could be quite worthwhile. That could be interesting. However, the one thing I am fucking terrified for, right, is if they increase this. Not too bothered about the damage to health. If they increase the damage to health, that's not going to make that much of a difference. But if they increase this damage to armor, yeah, you can basically kiss goodbye to anything you can think or you think you can do with this. mean, obviously, depending on the value. But if this is anywhere near 10%, this 5% weapon damage and 10% damage to armor is basically going to decimate the whole game. I was doing some quick checking last night. I think I still maybe have it up. Yeah, here we are. So this one is your standard Strikers build of St. Elmo. See if we can zoom in a little bit. So yeah, this one here. Tell you what, we'll just do... I forgot how to spell Coyotes. This is your standard Strikers build of Coyotes and St. Elmo. And all I've done on the top one is replace Coyotes and chest with Obliterate, Walker and Harris, and the Walker and Harris mask. Yeah. This is just so much more. Because if we do get 10% damage to armor, which is there, it's just going to be stupid. So this is the one that could kill the fucking game.
And the ones that remain unchanged, Providence, Circle of Concern, Yal, and we're going to publish the full list with all the changes with before and after, so you can compare where the second or third piece bonus increased, also in the patch notes.
Yeah. It's going to be fun with the Ninja Bike to see how people actually combine that. And
there it is. Because a lot of those stats don't have a useful second or third. It's not so much, essentially, Ninja Bike on any of these, worthless. Ninja Bike on any of these, worthless. What's going to then matter is how much have they increased the headshot? Maybe they increased the damage to armor. Maybe that could be worthwhile with Ninja Bike. Stability, accuracy, no one should care. Reload stability, no one should care. Explosive damage, headshot. Oh, Grupo with headshot. Maybe, I don't know. Although you still then got to deal with explosive damage. That's going to be weird. Petrov, weapon handling and ammo capacity. No one should care. They're not touching Providence. Overlord, accuracy and weapon handling. No one should care. They're not touching Sokolov. And if they fucking touch this, game dead. They're leaning too heavily into the side of Ninja Bike. It's not going to be worthwhile because, oh yay, I get another 20%, 30% stability on my AR build. What AR is not really stable enough for people to use? Not Bighorn AR. Is this just aimed at Bighorn? Is that literally it? Have fun, good luck, don't die. Bad for the health.